Hello, fellow traders. 'Tis I, the Rumpled One, coming to you Wednesday, September the 16th, the year's 2020. Let's talk trading. Questions and answers. I got some questions from a viewer, and I was going to do a different video, but he asked so many questions, I thought, why don't I just do a video and answer his questions? Well, I want you to remember one thing. These videos are for educational purposes only. Your results may differ from mine. Trading is extremely risky. You can lose all of your money. If you need trading, investment, or financial advice, seek the advice of an accredited financial professional. First question. What kind of indicators do I need to use? Now, that's a pretty interesting question. The answer is you probably don't really need any indicators per se. Indicators, not all indicators are created the same. That's one of my sayings. Because some indicators just plot horizontal lines based on things like the open, high, low, close. Or some indicators will space lines like the sweet spots every 10 pips away or every 5 pips away. You can determine that. Some indicators do things like moving averages, something that, plot those squiggly lines across the chart, or like RSI and stochastics and MACD, they plot squiggly lines under the chart. Other indicators, do price analysis, like, let's see, for example, where is it? For example, my smart range indicators, where they'll tell you what percentile the current range and the previous ranges where they were. Some indicators indicate when there's a trade's going to happen. Some indicators just indicate where price is, price relative to the open, relative to the daily high, relative to the daily low. Some indicators, like over here, the multimeters, they tell you things, what's happening on all the time frames, so you don't have to look. So here on the M1, the candle just went from red to green. On M5, it's green. On M15, it's green. M30, green. H1, green. H4, it's red. D1, daily, weekly is green, and monthly is red. So you can look here and just scan it real quickly to see what price is doing all the time frames here. This gives you the range on all the time frames. And the CCC, you know what? I forgot what that one does. Off the top of my head, it's one I think I put in there. I think it's candle color change or something, how many times it's changed. I'd have to look it up. So many indicators, so little times. Or there's indicators like my dynamic support resistance, where you see it plots a high, leaves it there, comes back down, and starts plotting a low for your dynamic support resistance. Some indicators just, you can just put the notes right on the screen if you want to make notes about something. And in case you guys are wondering, what does L2, 7 and short 3, 8 mean? Well, sometimes instead of waiting for price to hit the 0, you can take it, you go long at the 7, or instead of waiting for it to hit the 5, you go long at the 2. So if it hits it, chances are you might be able to grab a pip or two, and on the short side, it's 3 and 8. That's what that's about. And then some indicators like this one here just tells you, the bar time, server time, local time. So what indicators do you need? That's up to you. Basically, I think you probably need some horizontal line indicators, something that tells you the daily open, maybe the current day high low, and the previous day high low. And that you can get all of those in my TRO HL5 indicator. So what do we have here? The next question, how to trade using your methods, how to trade buy zone, rat zone, and wick zone. I put some videos out there on that, but these are simply horizontal line trades. those different methods. Let's see here. If I remember correctly, we've got the buy zone here. So price opens, and whether or not you want to use a bias, which way to trade, in other words, one way is on and one way is off. So here the pivot point opened within the buy zone, so there's basically no bias. So you could have gone short here. You would have probably taken a loss or scratched a trade. Go long here, there's profit. Long here, there's profit. So basically, how do you trade the buy zone? When price hits this line, you go long. Now, another trader, instead of using the daily open plus 8 or 10, he's using the hourly open plus 5 and just making scalps off of that. Because sometimes, as you can see here, later in the day, it's nowhere near the open, but on the hourly open, you can get those trades in. The rat zone, how do you trade it? It's simply, the rat zone isn't a trade per se. It says that if you enter a trade in the upper rat zone short, chances are price is going to leave it before the end of the day. And if you enter a trade in the green rat zone, once again, price is going to leave the rat zone by the end of the day. Now, one thing, when you're trading the buy zone, you are trading away from the open. When you're trading the rat zone, you're trading towards the daily open. That's the difference. And both of these trades are based on statistics. Price is going to range, and it's going to range most likely more than 20 over the course of the day. So if it ranges 80 pips, you can't fit 80 into 20. So it's got to come out one end, the other end, or both ends. So today it only came out on one end. And for the rat zone, usually by the end of the day, this number is going to be larger than 20, and this number is going to be larger than 20. Once again, based on frequency distributions for the pound. Now, you need to run the frequency distribution for each pair you want to trade. And when you're starting out, I would suggest you only trade one pair so you can focus. And then that way you'll know what these frequency distributions are. So let's check out the next question. Are you using market or pending orders? I usually use market orders because I'm scalping. Unfortunately, on these MT4 platforms, the limit orders are kind of cumbersome. What kind of pairs do you trade? Right now, I've been trading the pound dollar since I've been trading with Walmart since about February or March of this year. How to decide before entering in trade? Well, you see, now that's an interesting question because there's a couple of ways to answer it. I'm going to answer it the first way by saying you have a method that you're using. So, for example, you're using the buy zone. So what happens is you say, well, I need to enter the trade when price gets here long. I need to enter the trade when price gets here short. So when price gets there, you go long. You've decided ahead of time what you're going to do. You already know what you're going to do when it gets there. So when it gets there, all you have to do is enter the trade. You don't have to think. No more thinking. You're taking a statistical trade. There's nothing to think about. You have to execute like that trained monkey we've joked about. With the rat zone, once again, you've decided that you want to trade this. So when price gets in this area and the range is large enough, and whatever trigger you're using, when you see that trigger appear, you enter the trade. You don't think about it. And when you enter trades, of course, you make sure your stop loss is in place so you don't lose any more on any one particular trade than you're willing to lose. Now, I think you also asked about the wick zone. Here again, where is it? Where's the wick zone? Here we go, the wick zone. Once again, it's a horizontal line trade. Price gets into the zone. When price starts to come out of the zone, this is your last opportunity. Now, you can make trades within the zone, trading out of the zone. So in this case, you're trying to take the previous day's high break and here's the previous day's close. So you want to trade out of the wick zone. As you can see, price doesn't stay in the wick zone. So if you're doing a wick zone trade, you don't have to wait to this. You could have maybe done a reversal trade here or a reversal trade here. But the fact of the matter is, if you just want to wait for it to get to the line, when it gets to the line, you pull the trigger. No thought involved. And that's the biggest thing. There's nothing to think about. You don't know what's going to happen next. You know the worst thing that could happen is you get stopped out. Pull the trigger. Put your stop on. See what happens. What things I need to know to never lose again? Well, that's pretty much it. What I just said. When you're trading statistical trades, it's like you're the casino. You do the same thing over and over and over again because you know statistics are on your side. So you keep as many things consistent as possible, the same pair, the same method, the same lot size. You do that over and over again, and you'll see that you'll start to win. What must I do before I start trading? Well, you have to have some money, number one. Then you pick a broker well, actually, probably before you pick the broker, you pick what you decide to trade. Do you want to trade stocks? Do you want to trade foreign exchange? Do you want to trade commodities, futures? You then find a broker that you're comfortable with, and then it's for you, and you can trade with, and then you open a trading account, and then you go on demo. Now, I usually say you don't go on demo. The reason you go on demo is so you learn how to click the mouse, how to get in and out of trades. You're not all you're doing is you're getting yourself familiar with the platform. And once you're familiar with the platform and you're not making mistakes on entry and exit, then you go live and then you start with the smallest amount. Maybe it's just one micro lot. Once again, you do that. It's like lifting weights. Maybe you start out with 5 pounds to get your form down, and then you graduate to 6 pounds, 7 pounds, 10 pounds, and you gradually move up. How to get the new 2020 indicators? You make a donation to my PayPal account. How many indicators will I get? I don't know. I don't know how many I've got out there for 2020. I know just about every month or every other month, I usually send out one or two indicators, donational indicators, and a lot of times there'll be some updates to some of the ones I've sent out earlier. Like I know this go around, I think I made a couple of changes to the smart ranges. But off top of my head, I'm not sure how many indicators there are in that donational. But you ask about the indicators. Like here, we've got the candle indicator that shows the hourly candle as a backdrop here. You can see here we got a green candle, green candle. And then it also has the sweet spots here. So there's lots of different indicators. But once again, do you need them? Maybe, maybe not. Depends on what you're trading. If you need to know where those lines are, say like for the wick zone, you can either get the donational indicator or you can get the TRO-HL5. And if you look out on the internet, I believe I put out a video or two how you can use TRO-HL5 to do the buy zone, to do the wick zone, to do the rat zone, to do time trades. Like if you want to take the breakout of the 0800 H1 bar, it'll plot those horizontal lines. So that one indicator does so much. It's pretty much like a Swiss Army knife, type of indicator. So, fellow trader out there, I hope I've answered all of your questions to your satisfaction. If not, feel free to ask some more questions. So, fellow traders, remember, it's not the indicators, it's not the method, it's not the instrument, it's not what you trade, it's how you trade it. So go out there and drain the banks. And if you're new here, click subscribe, click like, click the bell down here. to get notified when I put out the new video, which I usually do Sunday through Friday. I take Saturday off, okay? Got to give me one day, right? And with that, this is the Rumpled One over and